Are you listening?
Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of the Nerf Gaming News Daily Roundup. We got a bunch of news to talk about, specifically video game news. Nintendo is being sued by a child. PlayStation and Bungie have revealed a brand new Destiny 2 crossover. Callisto Protocol is adding a brand new Riot mode, and a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 is in the works. And I mean, how can you drop a bomb like that and not dive straight into it? So let's talk about it. The remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. And this news, of course, comes from Windows Central Jez Corden, who dropped an article saying that they have first-hand knowledge that a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake is currently in development. And in case you're part of the 40% of viewers who weren't born when Metal Gear Solid 3 was around, the game follows Snake, who is currently in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And again, 40% of my audience, if your history teacher hasn't covered the Cold War yet, that's when the United States and the USSR were at the brink of a nuclear war. And in Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake is on a mission to de-escalate the crisis by taking out those who are trying to force the conflict into happening. Now, the rumor of a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake has kind of been floating around the internet for a while now, but probably the most interesting part of this story is that Jez revealed that the game won't be a PlayStation 5 exclusive as it was originally believed. In fact, Jez revealed that Metal Gear Solid 3 the remake will be launching on Xbox, PC, and the PlayStation 5. And moving on to our next story, let's talk about Nintendo getting sued by a child, which easily has to be the most Nintendo story of 2023. Now, this story comes from ClassAction.org, in which they detail how Nintendo's mobile game Mario Kart Tour, specifically the game's spotlight pipes, are now subject to a proposed class action lawsuit. Now, if you're not aware on how these pipes actually operated, essentially they were loot boxes. You paid real world money and then you got a random item back, but in some cases, the items were absolutely trash. And even though these spotlight pipes have since been removed from the game, while they existed, it is reported that it resulted in Nintendo earning $300 million. That is an absolutely fucking crazy number to wrap my head around. That $300 million lets Enter Stage Left, a minor who spent $170. However, we probably should clarify the $170 wasn't theirs, it was actually their parents. Who, you probably guessed it, didn't know their kid was using their credit card to buy in-game purchases, which, let's zoom in real quick. Let's have a chat. Number one, parents, stop linking your credit card to your kids' games, okay? That's a rookie mistake. And number two, this goes out to the kids out there. Stop using your parents' credit cards. Go out and get a real job. Go start a YouTube channel or something and learn how hard it is to make $1. Legit, my video yesterday made $1 and I spent 8 hours working on that. I couldn't even afford a microtransaction in Mario Kart Tour if I was living on that. Now, according to ClassAction.org, this case is set to represent all minors in the United States, and if it goes through and they actually win, it will likely result in payouts to minors affected by these predatory practices. Which brings us to our next story. Sony and PlayStation have revealed some brand new Destiny 2 skins. Yeah, in fact, I'm actually surprised it took this long. Sony announced the acquisition of Bungie, I think, last year, and we are just now seeing the first evidence of that buyout. And in doing so, Bungie revealed some brand new Destiny 2 cosmetics, including a Titan skin that is God of War themed, an Aloy Horizon Forbidden Dawn skin for hunters, a Ghost of Tsushima Warlock outfit, Last of Us Cordyceps Sparrows and Ghosts, and finally, a Ratchet and Clank emote. Kind of a cool nod to the fact that they're now owned by Sony, but probably the biggest W out of this story is that Bungie is not going to be locking these to the PlayStation platform. In fact, these skins and cosmetics will be available to Destiny 2 players playing on PC and Xbox as well. Alright, and for our final story, let's talk about Callisto Protocol and how developer Striking Distance is adding a brand new mode to the game. That's right, the brand new Riot mode will allow players to have limited resources and fight off endless hordes hordes of monsters. The longer they last, the more difficulty they will face, and the higher score you will receive. Callisto Protocol's Riot Mode launched today, but it is important to note here that it is a DLC expansion, so it will require a separate purchase unless you do own the Season Pass for the game, because then it will be included in there. But probably the coolest news out of this announcement is like, this isn't it. They've got more content coming. In fact, developer Striking Distance did tease more content, including story content that will be coming very soon. But with that kind of wraps up today's roundup. Thank you so much for watching. In case you missed it, we posted a brand new episode of our Game of the Week podcast yesterday in which we talked about the Outlast Trials. And even if you're not into horror games, check out that video because that game is just a masterpiece when it comes to horror. I am so in love with it right now. But also, keep your heads up for brand new content launching this entire week, including our morning shows, shorts, and on top of that, roundups in the afternoon just like this. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. In fact, if you're a kid, part of the 40% watching this, trying to figure out how you can sue Nintendo as well, have your entire class subscribe. Let's get that number up. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.